thought we might continue on. Well, first off, you guys gotta let me know the volume if it's too loud. I'll turn it down just a little bit. I wanted to continue on the conversation we were having about history, but I wanted to use it in a different context of theory and theoretical. Hey, we use theoretical physics, I guess, but generally the idea of theories that we base things on, and how often we take theories and just establish them and just say it's fact. We use a scientific we use the scientific method to come to a conclusion, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right one. And then we just, once it's established and we go, well, that's just what it is, then we kind of sit in that, even though a lot of things have not been proven substantially enough. We take theories and use those theories as some objective reality, some objective truth, especially of our history. And then when we take those things that are really just observations of the scientific method at work, going through and trying to decipher why something occurs, or where it came from, or we get stuck into, well, this is the best guess we have. A lot of educated guesses, but not quite any scientific fact. And this is most troubling in the sense of our history. People argue about history as if they can tell you about last week. They want to argue about, well, there was a book written in the War of 1711. It was actually fought in front of 7-Eleven. We have a lot of things to decipher when we're talking about theories in science, and especially theories in our history. And a lot of theories in science may be a little more cumbersome to unpackage and find the right answer to. It is an obvious state of affairs that we can observe our historical narrative and things we've been told about history, and we can almost certainly dismantle the entire popular narrative of what history has been prescribed to us, described to us as. Some of it is just, well, we don't know. Other parts of it is, oh, it's almost verifiably false. And there's a lot of that. There's a ton of that we can find verifiably faulty things in Sabra. We can find verifiably incorrect things in a historical narrative, because we can just point to something that doesn't fit at all. It's kind of like when people do scientific experiments and they add extra moving parts, extra variables to it, and then we go, well, that doesn't fit, because you can't just throw a variable in there. And sometimes they'll throw things in that just destroy the equation. And when we look towards history, we find that just about everything that we look at dismantles and destroys the historical narrative that we've been given. Not just from the point of view of winners and losers, and the history is written by the winners, but in a grander scheme of like the perspective of the entire realm, the whole world, whatever you'd like to call it. How much world history can we secure in? There's plenty of people that say the Smithsonian Institute and dinosaurs are either faulty or not from this realm, or maybe we don't know how far back we go. We can look at, as we were discussing, the where does this oil come from? And they tell you it's from, like, legitimately tell you from, it's dinosaur bones, it's fossil fuels. It's from fossils of what? When there is not only plenty of evidence to the contrary, but we're stuck in so many paradigms of, okay, were there even dinosaurs, and how do we turn bones? Because as far as I know, there's no oil in there. What kind of process are we talking about? How many microbes, how many generations to produce that? When we can clearly see that plants produce oil, when the earth is full of soil and oil, when there's all sorts of things that are going on a microscopic molecular level of heating up and decaying and fermentation very quickly, that the restoration of the supplies of oil, the reason we've never run out, and it's almost negligible that we would, and it's always like, oh, in the 70s we ran out, in the 90s we ran out, we're supposed to run out again, and da-da-da-da. But yet it's still there. So we're there's one thing that not only from a historical but a factual narrative of what are we doing with this oil, and where is it going? Oh, it keeps coming back. Oh, we just found a billion more metric tons. I mean, that's probably even a small amount. I don't even know how many barrels, billions of barrels. Where are they coming from? So now we can start to decipher, well, what is this oil? We don't even know that. What is this? What about these dinosaurs? Why are we trying to walk back so far into what shit was, when most people, really, this is so blatant. Most people couldn't tell you what they did last year, let alone last month, last week. It's, I don't know. And people are trying to somehow piece together a history back to 10 million years, 1,000 years. I mean, it's hard enough with so much spoiled, tainted, mistranslated, burnt, and altered and hidden history, that the verifiable physical reality that we see around us continually stands in the face of anything we know as actual history of this realm. Hello, welcome. I'm Zen. Who are you? It's nice to see you. I don't know where I really want to go with this, but we'll give it a shot. So, what else do we use theories on? That I like using best guess, and we gotta have theories to function our life on. But you've lived your life with a few theories of what is most important. When you were a child, certainly playing was quite important. Certainly, dinner and Santa Claus was. But you come to new plateaus in your development, your evolution of your awareness and consciousness, that those things don't make any sense anymore. But then we're oftentimes have these people standing as barriers, as gatekeepers, with not only is the gate broken, the foundation is terrible, but they stand there as if their reality, their BS, their belief system, their structure of what they think is just the only thing. And most of the times, it's not the only thing, it's completely wrong. And so we try to make progress as a species, but we get limited by the people continually saying, no, this is all there is, this is what it was. And, well, even if they were right about the history, we don't find the amount of technological or just general intelligence evolution that there should be. I mean, time and time I go to the reference of how do we have cars that basically have the same gas mileage? How we've not improved the braking system? Why do we still get flat tires? I mean, these are simple answers that have already been fixed. We know how to make a car stop when it should and not overheat and get rid of brake pads. We know how to do it. We know how to get rid of tires that will pop on the expressway that will, go flat. We know how it's easily done. We know how to make the engines more, cleaner, to conserve more gas. We know how to do all these things. Yet, what hinders our advancement from that? And who does it benefit? It seems that the more the more bullshit that's around, the more benefit it is for whoever's doing the bullshitting. I mean, in the long run, I don't think it's going to work out too well for that. For those lineage. Well, how would you say, if you had part of the tree that was growing and it was rotten, it would just get chopped off. And it seems like we're living either in a weeded environment of ignorances and people just trying to claim that everything that glimmers is not gold, and they're trying to put a facade or put like they're trying to gild everything, like the Gilded Ages, to take the gold paint and put it on top of things that aren't actually gold. And it's time and time again served to us that way. And the biggest thing is the historical narrative, because we base our now on history and where we think we'll go. But a big foundation of it is what do we know of as our history, and if it's as plain to see, it's false. Where do we go? What do you do? Hello, Divine. Hello, Earth. What's up, Jessica Bird? What y'all doing? It's a beautiful day here. I'm overdressed, but it's like 72. But I don't know. There's a certain chill to the air. Welcome. What should we dig into here? That's about the general state of what I wanted to get into for this video. No, I mean, I could cover it from a lot of different standpoints of what kind of theories we have just hovering all over the place that somehow stand there, but still theoretical. Like theoretical physicists, they're like, oh, that's so amazing. They do all the giant equations to come up with some solution, and what solution they come up with? They just put a lot of letters and symbols and things in the middle, and they give you what is called their big toe, their big theory of everything. And apparently it doesn't really hold much weight. They just wrote a lot of shit on a chalkboard, and it was wrong. didn't really further the education. It didn't further the sciences. It didn't further humanity. It didn't further health. I'm not saying people that get into theoretical physics are bad or any, of course they're trying to figure something out. It's like, watch the movie The Fountain. Great movie. Probably top 3 for me. And Wolverine's character, Hugh Jackman, he's continually trying to figure out something to keep his wife around longer. And so he's basically into trying all of these equations and these theories of how to do something, while totally missing the ride, missing the experiential wonderment of life. What up, Skull? I know. Haven't seen you in a bit, man. How's the sound? My voice and the speakers. Can you hear the music? I just want it loud enough. I mean, if you guys like it, I can turn up a little bit, but I just like a little background music. Just my camera setting here. There we go. That's pretty fair. That's good. Now, if you don't and if you've never been curious as to why I sit on this side usually, it's because all the comments come over on this side, so I can read them. You set the reminder, but don't get notified. Well, maybe there's one more setting for you guys, but I don't know. It might be remind on some or remind on all. I seen that was an update, but that wouldn't be for that's a new update that I just seen happen recently. Sounds like an ice cream truck. Really? They're doing a little work in the front of the building. How heavy duty is the sound? It's not more than my voice, right? They're doing a little work back right behind me. See that green truck? They're like rehabbing the whole building. It's not like it's not like the sound of the ice cream truck coming to your town. What was it? I mean, most cities have the same ice cream truck sound, but do you remember yours in your town? I couldn't imagine doing that for very long. You would eventually, you'd probably end up hearing that in your sleep and go crazy. It keeps freezing. Earth, it keeps freezing. That's not on my. Is that happening to anybody else? Because it's not happening on my side. I have. Let me see. Hold on a second here. I have good connection on this side. Tell me if it happens again. If it happens again, I'll just call this a show and then restart it. Maybe that somehow changes things. Is it happening to anybody else? It's freezing. What's up, Aaron Colburn? It's not freezing on your side. Yeah, is it? Do you? Maybe it's just on your side, Earth. Where maybe you don't have much. Maybe your internet's a little slow. Oh, it was buffering though. Oh, funny! I wouldn't know the names of the ice cream truck songs, but there's a pretty standard sound. Oh, so Divine was buffering too. Yeah. Anybody else? Because I don't want to do a whole show where it keeps tripping out and buffering. I'd rather just start over and. All right, check it out. Here's what I'm gonna do, y'all. We'll call this a show. Thanks for showing up. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Let me just restart it. Or give me 5 minutes so I can restart my phone. Maybe it's something on my end. And as always, be cool, be weird, be yourself. And anybody that's here in the future, if you want to, CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, donate to this person, because this is why I do this. Well, it's for you guys, but that's how you help me. Okay, we'll see you guys in a second or two. I'll see y'all in a moment.